Welcome back, everyone, to the Alt Left. This is episode 83. It's just me and the good Reverend today. Matt has.
He got the Rona.
I heard it's just a mild flu, a gentle cold. Because I mean, it's not real. Pandemic's over.
No, it's a hoax.
It's total hoax.
Don't get the jab. It's not worth it. You don't know
because
what's in there.
Matt is a proper leftist. He's of course furthering the hoax of the coronavirus and has been pretending to be sick with COVID-19. He's doing his part for Antifa, so we salute his service. We're going to promote him to lieutenant of Antifa. That'll be good for him. But yes, so on a serious note, Matt is out. His lungs are hurt. And he's a sad panda, so he's resting up this week. But he's doing good. He's over the hill. He didn't have to go to the hospital because vaccines fucking work. And you should get one. If you don't have one, you're probably not listening to the show. But he's out of the woods, and he is just recovering and resting up. So he'll be back here next week. And it's just going to be Kay and I. It's not going to be a long episode. We just want to talk about a couple things, give you an update on Maddie Cakes, that kind of thing. And the quick and the short ones first. Again, I'd love to talk about Trump, but there's really no revelations. They released the affidavit that there was top secret shit, but we kind of already knew that.
Yeah, they knew exactly what they were going to find before they went in there. You can read the DOJ paperwork and it basically says nothing other than, yeah, we went in there for some top secret shit and we found it.
Yep.
That's it. That's all it really says.
My favorite is that Trump can't find a lawyer.
Oh, I think it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that has been the best part of this for me, is the fact that because he's been such a son of a bitch, he doesn't listen to legal advice and doesn't pay his lawyers, now literally no one will touch him. And so It's going to be it's going to be him and the My Pillow guy and some fucking, disgraced Ronald McDonald impersonator at the courthouse. It's going to be great.
He's probably going to have to pay someone up front in cash to actually represent him.
That is exactly what he's going to have to do, because there will be no billing later.
Yeah, they're going to have to give him, millions of dollars in retainer upfront, literally in cash or, wire transfer type of thing. But no one wants to represent him because, he doesn't pay and he's guilty as fuck. And who wants to be known as the guy that defended Donald Trump against treason?
I don't know. I think if he was a good client, he would, because people defended Nixon against treason. That's the thing, is you can be a slimy piece of shit and get a lawyer who will happily take your case. But lawyers who take on slimy clients expect to get fucking paid for what they do. Because, I got to tell you, I asked a defense lawyer once. I knew one. And I asked a criminal defense lawyer. I said, obviously, people who need help, yes. But what do you do with the real slime balls that were guilty, right? Murderers, rapists, just the worst of the worst. What do you do with these guys who you absolutely know are the shittiest people alive, and then you still have to defend them? Not that I think you shouldn't, but how do you justify that? How do you sleep at night after doing it? And he looked at me and he said, look, man, my job is not to get guilty people off. My job is to represent the accused, whether they are guilty or innocent. It doesn't matter. My job is to make sure they get a fair shot, they get a fair trial. He's like, if you're guilty, the jury's going to find you guilty. If you're innocent, the jury's going to find you innocent. That's the way it's supposed to work. And he said, my job is to make sure the prosecutor did their job. Was the judge fair? Did the prosecution actually do a good job of presenting evidence against him? Was the evidence legit? Was it gathered properly? Were his constitutional rights followed? Is everything on par? That's my job. He's like, when someone's guilty as shit, my job is to make sure they got a fair shake and it wasn't a lynching. And that when they get found guilty, they were found guilty because they had a fair trial against a jury of their peers. And if they get found not guilty, that's the prosecution's fault, not mine.
Well, and that makes sense.
It's a good point.
I get that. And when you put it in that kind of a context, it makes a lot more sense that criminal defense attorneys can do what they do because they know that they're defending guilty people. But yeah, when you think about it in that term of you're there to make sure that they get all of the same things that a innocent person would get in terms of how our justice system is supposed to work. We know that it doesn't generally always work the way that it's supposed to.
Yes, but guilty or innocent, you're supposed to have access to the same rights. And
Correct.
That's what they're there for.
Makes
So
sense. I
no,
like that.
yeah. So that always stuck with me, and like it makes so it's like no, I don't think Donald Trump would have a problem finding a defense attorney to make sure that he was at least well represented as he gets nailed to the cross. But it's the fact that he won't pay anyone,
Yeah.
and lawyers like to eat. And so when they offer their services from law school, they spend all their time money doing, and you're not going to pay them, and they already took a slimy case they don't feel so great about, and you have a reputation for that, no one's going to take your fucking case. So I look
Yeah.
forward to seeing the fucking clown show that he has to bring in of morons who are willing to defend him. I mean, even Giuliani won't touch him. Well, now he can't because he lost his license.
Yeah, I
But I
was
mean,
gonna say he's been disbarred.
but even Giuliani doesn't like him anymore, like because he's fucked over everyone.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be fun. That'll be a fun thing to watch. The other thing that's quick in the war in Ukraine, something to point out, you actually have to Google it because it's not front page news.
Nope.
Zelensky again has been supporting Nazis online. He tweeted and Instagrammed a picture of one of his heroes, and the guy's literally got a Nazi badge on his chest. And I don't mean like it's a mean white power symbol. No, it's the symbol of an SS brigade that he wears
Yeah.
proudly on his
It's
chest.
it's the lightning bolts, isn't it?
It's not the lightning bolts. It's a special
Oh.
division of the SS where it was like a lion's head. It's like a shield. It's colored blue and yellow for Ukraine, but he
Oh yeah,
literally
yeah,
took
yeah.
a Nazi SS symbol. It's not the lightning bolts, but I'm sure he's got them tattooed somewhere. But yeah,
Probably.
Zelensky posted that on he's celebrating these fucking Nazis again. And then let's also not forget we talk about war crimes. Russia's bad. Russia does awful shit. But for everyone who's still supporting Ukraine, they assassinated an innocent girl the other day because she was the daughter of a Russian.
So I actually read an article about that, and they were going to a concert, right? And then they
Mm-hmm.
were in the parking lot, and they were supposed to be getting into their car, and the car blew up and killed her. Right? That's the one
Mm-hmm.
you're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it wasn't meant specifically for her, but she's the one who died. That's fucking awful.
I mean, if you set a bomb at someone's car while he's out with his family,
Well, no, I just mean that he
like,
wasn't killed, but she
yes,
was.
his daughter
You
was
know, and
killed.
that's what I mean by it's tragic because
Yeah.
she didn't, you know,
But the Ukrainians felt that putting a bomb on a civilian vehicle
yeah, was the right thing to do.
was the right thing to do while civilians were out using it.
Well, yeah. You know, how else do
So
you kill someone?
yeah, this is not telling anyone to support Russia, but quit fucking supporting Ukraine because they're Nazis.
Yeah.
Don't support Nazis just because Russians are also monsters. And then last but not least, the thing we really need to talk about is Joe fucking Biden.
Hey, he's my hero, okay? he has wiped away student debt for everyone.
Now watch him walk on water.
If you make less than $125,000 a year, you get $10,000 worth of relief. And then if you have a Pell Grant, you get $20,000 worth of relief. Sure, except that most people have significantly more debt than that in terms of their student debt. I think women have an average of like $30,000 worth of student debt, and
Yeah,
black
women and people of
and
color.
women. Well, no, but women of color have an average of $37,000 worth of student debt. And most of those are not Pell Grants. Most of those are regular student loans. So they're going to get like $10,000, which is great, but it's still not enough.
If you have federal student loans, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is
If you
only
have
federal
personal
student
loans, it doesn't do shit for you because you still owe that money to whoever.
But yeah, so if you have federal student debt, that's great. If you have private loans, which a lot of people have private loans, this doesn't do shit for you. Now, I'm not going to scoff at the amount. Yes, it should be higher. It should be much higher than 10,000. It should be 25,000. But it's something, and it's legit. I mean, to be fair, if that's half the average of the worst, right? That's a lot. That's a big difference. That's a big difference on interest payments, on amount time paid. Like, it's not perfect. It's not a solution, but I will say it is definitely good and it is worth having. It's ridiculous that it doesn't cover private loans. It is ridiculous that people are against it. And also, the big thing we need to talk about, it hasn't happened. It is
No.
proposed. Joe Biden has come out and said, I want to do this. He's saying this, by the way, there's no coincidence. He spent his entire time as president saying that, backpedaling on this whole issue. And now that we are 2 months away before the November midterm elections, suddenly
It's
he's
real
coming out and
fucking
saying, I'm going to do
convenient,
this.
huh?
It's always amazing how much Biden likes to promise things right before elections.
Yeah. Timing is everything, my friend.
Um,
Use that timing to your advantage if you can.
yes, but he has talked about doing it. He has signaled he wants to do it. He has not done it. And until he does, I'm not going to fucking congratulate him. And I'm not going to congratulate him on doing something half-assed when it serves him in the elections. And that's all this is. And even the Democratic Party's split on it. All the moderate and right-wing Democrats are fucking pissed off and say this is bullshit. The Democratic Party isn't even united behind it.
No.
So if he's planning on legislating with this, it's never going to work. This has to be done with executive order.
Yeah, it would have to. Otherwise, it's toothless and it won't actually go anywhere. You know, half of the Democrats aren't going to vote for it. None of the Republicans are going to vote for us. The centrists aren't going to fucking vote for it. So it's never going to happen if it goes to a vote.
Yeah.
It's just not.
It needs to be executive order, which then really asks the question, not begs the question because it's a logical fallacy, but it really asks the question, why the fuck hasn't he done it yet?
Because he doesn't actually give a fuck about forgiving student debt and helping people. He cares about what it will do in the election cycle. And so he's feigning about it until at some point in time he decides whether he's going to actually sign a bill or send it to the fucking Congress and hope that they do something with it.
Yep. That's a bingo, buddy.
Uh,
So I'm not even holding my breath for it. I think there's a very decent chance it will fail. It might pass. Like I give it a 50-50. I give this a coin toss.
I don't.
Because he has
Not
signaled he
even remotely.
wants to, because so much of the younger vote and the left has come out in support of it, there is a very real chance he will just fucking do it, because this is a halfway measure, right? This is a step
Yeah.
to meet the banks halfway. And again, this is taxpayer money going to federal loans. It's so ridiculous. Like, how
Yeah,
many federal loans are forgiven? And this is the problem. And that's because, like what you said earlier, this is putting a whole lot of money and well, it's easing a whole lot of debt for women and people of color. And that is
mostly
who they don't want the money going to.
Yeah, that's the majority of the people that are going to win for this is women, and specifically women of color.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that hold the majority of student debt, or they hold more student debt. Pardon me, they hold more student debt than white males,
Yeah.
and that's simply because of economics. In terms of that, typically women end up paying for their own education, and specifically women of color. They don't come from money. So if they're going to go and get educated because of whatever their motivation is and their situation is, they typically don't have the money to go and do that generationally.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree.
I just don't. The thing is I see him kicking it out to Congress and then it not happening. I don't think that he's going to sign an executive order. I think that Joe will continue to talk a big game about it and then say, well, I'm counting on Congress to do this. And then nothing will happen. He does not have a good record of signing executive orders that do good things for people.
Yeah.
So
that's
what I see.
Yeah. I think that's a good chance that he will then do that, to then feign it wasn't my problem, it was the fucking Republicans.
Exactly. I heard that a police chief got fired.
Yes. The Uvalde school board decided to, because remember, this isn't the police chief for the county. This is the police chief for the school police.
Yeah. Let's be specific.
And the school board had a vote to fire him. And of course, in typical cop fashion, it's a lynching and my rights have been violated. And then he didn't even show up to his own fucking hearing because he's such a pussy.
Yeah, why would he do that?
Yeah, he was too busy jerking off to Punisher logos. And so he didn't even show up to his own fucking hearing and was fired. And this is being held up as a riot of wokeness and cancel culture. It's like, yes, the guy who sat on his fucking ass while children were murdered because he was too much of a coward to do anything. It's cancel culture. But yes, he has been fired. He has, I think the vote was unanimous. I don't recall.
I don't know. In a unanimous vote, the
Yeah. Okay.
Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District's Board of Trustees dismissed Police Chief Peter Arredondo.
So fuck that guy, and I'm glad
Yep.
he's gone. They should suspend the
Fuck
entire
him
fucking
and
department.
every other fucking cop on that Uvalde school police. What are they
Absolutely.
called?
Whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't
Fucking
matter. Fuck
school
them.
pigs. Who cares? Educated ham.
I wouldn't even call him educated ham. Ham that works in
Yeah.
education.
But that's kind of where this was actually a really good week for Matt to need to rest up, because there actually hasn't been a lot accomplished. A lot has been announced, not a lot. Everything is pending. We are still waiting to hear about what the ex-fascist in chief did with the documents, what's going to happen there. Now, my prediction, of course, Kay, I'm going to tell you, and you're probably going to be in agreement that if he's convicted, which I actually think we got a 50-50 chance again. I think there's a chance he'll skate by, because we don't like to convict presidents, but because it's so fucking just absolutely ridiculous, he actually might get convicted, but he will suffer no time. He will serve no time. Is my
Oh,
prediction.
he'll never serve any time. If anything happens, it'll be like probation. He's never going to go to jail. And even if he did go to jail, it's going to be to some fucking club fed.
It wouldn't be that. He would be kept at Mar-a-Lago or something.
Yeah, but that's
He'd be,
kind of
oh,
my
he's the
point. Is
president.
like,
He needs Secret Service protection. He can't go to jail.
yeah, he can't. Yeah, that's the thing. It's
No,
like, even if he's convicted, he's not going to jail.
he
He's going
should,
to
but yes.
continue. Yeah, he absolutely should. I think he, deserves to get what treasonous assholes actually deserve.
Throw him in fucking Gen Pop and watch the right wing get on with reforming jail systems.
Right? Not going to happen.
But yeah, remember, if you're rich enough and you make enough money, when you commit crimes, and they come for you, you're allowed to say no, thank you. But yeah, so we need to wait and see on all this. We're gonna see what happens with Trump. Or the big one I'm waiting for is see what Biden does in these primaries and see if he actually does one decent fucking thing, or if again he is just pulling the football like Lucy from Charlie Brown. And we won't know until
Nope.
at least next week. So stick around. Come back. We'll be back with 1/3 longer show and 1/3 more people if we don't have guests. And Maddie will be back. I promise you, he is alive and well. He is not dead in the basement somewhere. He is alive. He is recovering. He's hanging out with his wife and his children. And we will have him back. He wanted to record tonight, and I was like, dude, you need to recover. Me and Kay can do a little update. We can tell everyone that you're living, and we can come back fully strong next week. So thanks for sticking around. We appreciate you guys. We love you. Kay, any love on your way out?
I love you.
God damn right you do. It's mutual, baby. You and me.
Yeah.
You and me.
Good.
Kay and I are going to
old
stay off into the
friends here.
sunset. Yeah. That's what's going to happen.
Just one of these days, man. I'm just gonna head off.
We're just going to move to Florida, and historians will say they were close friends.
Exactly.
That's because I'm going to plow you when we're old.
I look
Everyone
forward to it.
keep that mental picture. You're fucking welcome. I hope this is right before dinner. All right, we love y'all. We will see you next week. Keep the faith, because the Reverend Doctor's still here watching you. And remember, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And who's the revolution, Kay?
The revolution is you.
God damn right. We love you guys. Talk to you next week.